All right, so this is like our 28th episode, right?
This is our 27th.
27th?
Yeah, the last one was 26.
Okay. All right, well, this episode is on something that I call protect your future self. Okay, so I'll give you one example that got me thinking about this, okay? It's kind of a stupid example, but I'm out on Monday night with Brandy, and I have like 22 miles left on my car of gas, okay? And I'm dropping her off, and I know that it's like 13 miles to my house, but I have swim practice in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And I then have to get up in the morning and do it. And I was thinking to myself, protect morning, Tom, because I can just stop and get gas right now, or I could wait till tomorrow morning. But I'm going to protect my future self because tomorrow morning I'm going to be really pissed at nighttime, Tom, for not getting gas so that I have to stop in the morning on the way to swim when I have like 8 miles left and I'm rushing to get to swim practice.
That makes sense, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I did not want to stop. I was tired. I was ready to just blow by the gas station because it's cold out here where we live, right? And it's like, I don't know. I mean, for you, this is nothing. But for me, it's like 9:45 at night. I'm usually in bed at 9:30. So I'm already way past my bedtime. And I'm tired. And I just thought to myself, I got to protect future Tom. And I'm so glad I did because when I got up in the morning, I went right to practice, didn't have to worry about it.
Right.
So that's a stupid little example. But here's another example. Have you ever lost your temper
Yes.
and regretted it?
Yes.
Yeah, I've lost my temper and regretted it. I've regretted it every time. Because here's the thing. You get pissed, you say something that makes you feel good for about 20 seconds.
Right.
Present Chris.
Yeah.
Current Chris feels good for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Future Chris regrets it for maybe months, maybe years of his life.
Yeah.
It could destroy a relationship, right?
Yeah.
It could destroy your credibility.
Yeah.
It could get you assaulted. Or if you're the one doing the assaulting, it could get you in prison.
Prison, right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. You have an emotional outburst, so you punch someone in the face, okay? It feels good. You know, you're punching a guy in the face that's been really pissing you off, but then he calls the police. Now you're in handcuffs. Now you're in jail.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not in jail for more than a night, but a night in jail, right?
And you get fined, you got to
Yeah,
go through it.
and you might have a criminal record.
That's right.
But so present Chris felt great punching that guy in the face, but he totally screwed future Chris because you're two different people. You know, every day, every minute, every moment of every day, brain chemistry is going on in your brain. Arguably, you are a different person every moment of every day, which means you're certainly a different person the next day, right? I mean, we are defined as people by our genetics and our environment, right? Our genetics, which we're born with, and all the stuff around us that stimulates us every day, right?
Right.
If that's true, and I'm sure it is, then every day we're a different person because our genetics are the same tomorrow, but our experiences are different. And if we're defined by our genetics and our experiences, every day we're a different person. So this Chris today is not the same as Chris tomorrow. That's future Chris, right? You're present Chris. And you want to avoid an emotional outburst that's going to screw future Chris. Because he's like, what did I do exactly? I did nothing. I just woke up to this new Chris and now I'm in jail, right? Because of what past Chris did yesterday. But again, it's probably not going to be that extreme. It's going to be more like you say something that you regret. And believe me, I have said things in my life. Present Tom, not this present Tom, I'm future Tom, has said things that have screwed me, future Tom, because I'm still thinking about them.
Yeah.
There's one thing I said, which I won't mention, but it was probably, let's see, 27, 37, 47, 50, over 40 years ago. I still think about it. And I had a great moment back then, 40 years ago. It was great for like 30 seconds, but now I'm still thinking about it. And I'm thinking, what an idiot I was. Why would I say such a thing, right?
And you can place that with countless of things.
And many people, too.
Anything with instant gratification.
Yeah, I saw one day, I'm driving down the street, and I see two people in the cars. There's a pickup truck and a car. And the guy in the pickup truck to the left is like, I see his fist out the window, okay? And then the other guy, I could see him screaming back. And I'm like, what a bunch of idiots. Then I finally pull up next to the guy in the truck, and he was a friend of mine. I knew the guy. So now, because he had that moment of outburst of screaming and shaking his fist like a 90-year-old man, I now look at him differently whenever I see him.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
No, it's not a good look.
Yeah.
Losing your temper is never a good look.
No, it's just.
And again, it
horrible.
only makes you feel good for a short period of time. Oh, I said what I needed
Yeah.
to say. Did you?
Yeah,
Did you say what you needed to say or what you wanted to say, right?
Yeah,
You said what you didn't need to say. You
Yeah.
shouldn't have said
it's
that.
not classy.
No, and you regret it,
Yeah,
right?
Well, some people don't.
I don't know. People might not admit that they regret it because it's cognitive dissonance, I think.
Yeah.
Right? You double down. Your brain is telling you that was stupid, but you don't want to feel stupid, so you double down
Well,
and say, I was right to do that.
Yeah, he was
The guy
wrong.
cut me off.
Yeah.
That guy cut me off. He deserved to get punched in the face. So what? I spent 2 nights in jail. So what? So what? I have a criminal record. I did lose my job. But so what? He deserved to get... I'm glad I did it. But they're not glad. And they're not glad about things you say. You could ruin relationships over emotional outbursts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a moment of like, you gave in.
Yeah,
A moment of you got a little thrill. And the rest of your life, you regret it.
yeah.
Don't screw future Chris.
No.
Okay, here's some other examples. Go to bed early if you have to get up early, right? We should all get 8 hours sleep every night. That's like a health fact. So you got to get up at 5 in the morning. That means you have to go to bed at 4, 3, 2, 1, 12, 11, 10, 9. You got to go to bed at 9. But you're watching Netflix, right? You're right in the middle of a good movie. So what do? Stay up till 11. Well, you stay up to 11. Now you're down to 6 hours, right? And you're cool. Hey, that was great. That movie was awesome. I mean, I'm so glad I watched it. Then 6 hours later, future Chris gets up, and you're like, what an idiot. That idiot from last night totally screwed me from today. Now, I did steal that idea from Jerry Seinfeld because he had this really good bit on present Jerry. He called it nighttime Jerry, morning Jerry, and daytime Jerry, right? Nighttime Jerry goes out and parties and has a great time without even thinking of morning Jerry. But he only gets a few hours of sleep, so morning Jerry is totally screwed, right?
Yeah.
So then he says the only way morning Jerry can get even with nighttime Jerry is if he sleeps in and keeps skipping work enough that daytime Jerry gets fired and nighttime Jerry doesn't have any money to go out and party.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe you could play that
I'll
clip.
play that.
Okay, if you want. You see if you want to do it. Okay, so anyway, what's another good example is saving money, right? 401k, Roth IRA, 529, which is a college plan for your kids. Those are all about protecting your future self. There's an expression in the financial area, in the investment guys, right? They'll say, always pay your future self first. You know what that means?
Save towards
But to pay first. In other words, I got 10 bills to pay. My first
right,
bill
right.
is my 401k investment.
right.
And a lot of people, that is their first payment because it gets taken out before they even get their paycheck, right? And it's really smart because your future self, you're a young man. You're like, what, 25, 26?
Yeah.
Like that, you're going to be 55, 65. And you're going to be like, oh, my God, I'm so glad
Yeah.
that my past Chris saved for future me.
You know, that's funny you brought that up. I have a friend that's my age too, and he blew his savings because he lost his job because he wanted to go back to school. So he
Okay.
had 15,000 gone.
Okay, so he had saved up 15 grand,
Yeah.
but he paid for it for school.
He's very
Well,
stupid with money.
Okay, but what was his degree?
We went for writing, creative.
Wait. Okay.
But
Creative
I'm just-
writing? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like he bought
Okay.
he bought like this DVD set. That's like $200. I'm like, why won't you just save that,
Yeah, because you know what that 15,000 is for? Let's just call him Jim.
Jim?
Jim. For future Jim, when Jim's 65, how old is he? 25?
He's 25.
35, 45, 55, 65. Remember one podcast we did on the rule of 72?
Yeah.
If you get 7% on your money, which you can get year over year. In fact, I think the S&P since 1957 has gotten like 10% year over year. So you can definitely get 7%. Excuse me. So that means it would double 4 times by the time he's 65. So 15 would go to 30, 60, 120. That's $240,000 on retirement. If he had just put that in like a retirement account. But now it's gone.
Totally gone.
It's gone, yeah. Now, There is value in the degree program, though. Depends on what the degree is, of course, whether you can make money from it.
Creative writing.
No, I'm not sure you can make a lot in creative writing, but let me just say it this way. I don't know what you can do with creative writing. And by the way, with the emergence of Google Gemini and ChatGPT and Grok and a zillion other AI tools that are writing brilliant stuff, I think creative writing, sadly, might be a thing of the past for humans. Which, by the way, hurts me because I write.
Yeah.
I mean, I write books, as you know. I try to write a book every year.
Yeah.
And now you can write a book using Google Gemini as well as I can write a book. And I've been writing since I was maybe 10 years old.
It's going to be a lost skill.
It's sad. But anyway, maybe your friend should have chosen another field.
Too late.
Too late. Oh, he already did it.
He's about to graduate.
Oh, he is. Okay, well, at least he's graduating. Because that's another one of my things. Finish college or your certificate program or your trade school. Finish. I have met so many people in my generation who are like a few years of college, maybe a couple semesters, and their whole lives they've regretted not finishing. Even people who have done well without their degrees have regretted not finishing their degree. Mm-hmm. It's like a little thing, but you push that thing off till you're in your late 20s, and you might never be able to go back because now you have mortgage, now you got kids maybe, now you've got, expenses that won't enable you to go back and get your degree. So that's another thing is help your future self. I'm not saying you have to go to college. In fact, I think as the years go by and the emergence of artificial intelligence and artificial general intelligence one day, we're going to find that there's other ways to do this. And I've always believed that there's ways you can get through college without taking out any loans and without spending a ton of money. But whatever you try and you start and you believe in, you should finish it and then let your future self at least have the benefit of that degree, right? Mm-hmm. So, okay. You had one, because I have a bunch more here.
I have...
Let me hear one of yours.
Well, we talked about relationships.
Yes. Invest in relationships that matter.
Yeah.
Right? And that could be anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, my example is I told somebody, I said, I'm not going to waste my time with people as much anymore. Like I can't do pointless hangouts, or I can't be in a negative environment.
Right.
Because my friend, all he wants to do is talk about his problems. He got divorced, 15 years ago.
Oh, wow. He's still not over it?
Still not over it.
Yeah, see, that hurts. So future guy is getting killed by past guy.
Yeah. Not
getting over it. But your point is, you're going to focus on investing in relationships that matter, not ones that bring you down.
It's just it's a waste of time. I told him that we can't do this anymore.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't have to just be friends. It could be romantic partnerships.
Right.
A marriage. You might get married, right? And way too many people, including me, did not invest enough time in their marriages, right? Especially when you have kids. Mm-hmm. Then you start investing all your time in your kids, which is important, right. Or in your jobs, right? Which are important, but you need to figure out a way to invest in all the relationships that matter. That could be partner, romantic partner, wife, husband, whatever. Could be a business partner. It could be customers. You're in your own company. Your top 10 customers are your lifeline, right? Huh. And if you don't have them, you're screwed. So that means you should be going out and visiting them regularly, right?
Yeah.
It could be siblings, could be parents, whatever relationships matter to you. But your point is the opposite is also true. Don't invest in relationships that don't matter or that are bringing you down, right?
Not to sound selfish, but there has to be a period where you have to look out for yourself.
Well, you also have to make a decision on which relationships you value in your life, and invest in those, because you don't want. It really comes down to this. Do you want to lose these relationships? If you don't care if you lose them, then don't invest in them. If you do care, invest in them, because present Chris investing in relationships that matter to him will help future Chris when you're still in those relationships, right?
Right.
So another thing is, don't build credit card debt.
Yeah, my friend has that.
Yeah, credit card debt makes the present Chris feel great because you're buying stuff you can't afford, and you got your Xbox, you got your jet ski, you got your cool guitar. But future Chris, who now is so burdened and laden down with the weight of credit card debt that he can never escape it, so he has to declare bankruptcy. Once he declares bankruptcy, his credit's destroyed for like 5 years or something. Then you want to buy a house or something so that you can start to invest for the next future, Chris. You can't do that because your credit's terrible. So you got to rent, and rents are expensive. So you're just spiraling future Chris into an impossible situation, right? So avoid credit card debt.
Yeah.
In fact, I just heard there's an app where you can get a loan for lunch and pay it back. Didn't you tell me that?
Well, it's called pay for later. So, for instance,
Right, we were at Peter Gourmet when you were telling me about this, right?
So you can use there's countless apps, but one thing comes to mind is pay for later by PayPal. So you can use if it accepts PayPal or something, you can just use PayPal and pay it in 4 installments.
Yeah, so it's kind of like using a credit card, I guess, right? But they're giving you a fixed payment period.
Yeah, so every 2 weeks.
But imagine this though: you buy lunch for $14, and it takes you 3 days to pay it off, right? But you need another lunch the next day.
Right.
It's a death spiral.
Yeah, so you can see people abusing it, and you can also see instances where people probably won't pay it back.
And then they'll have their credit problems, right? Yeah. But that's the point, is that with credit card debt, consumer debt, any consumer debt is dangerous. If it's investment debt, that's like you buy a house and you have a mortgage, that's growing in value. You know, if you have a business that you're investing in, that's going to be your career. It's growing in value, right? You invest in, I don't know, gold or something, right? But my point is, consumer debt is dangerous for future Chris, right? Don't screw future Chris with credit card debt.
Right.
Okay, another thing is stay fit. Because here's the thing about fitness. It goes away quickly, and muscles atrophy quickly. You know, I do this exercise at the Y, where I basically take a weight, you know, one of those plates that you put on the bars, and all I do, it's old school. This is so old school. I touch the ground and then put it up over my head. And I do it like 80 times, right? And I do it maybe once a week. So I waited like 3 weeks without doing it, maybe 4 weeks, and I did it again, and I felt all the muscles again. In other words, they were already atrophying, right? It had only been 4 weeks since I did that exercise, and my muscles were already atrophying. Imagine someone who doesn't exercise for years, right? The only muscles they're working are the ones that they need to walk to the car, get themselves in the car, drive the car, right? Drink something, right? Eat their food. Like, those are the only muscles that they're using. So then in the future, 5, 10, 12, 15, 20 years later, all their muscles are atrophied.
Right.
And that also might be their heart muscle, right? Because they're not exercising.
Yeah.
So now their heart's weak. You know, and then future Chris is, you know, out of shape, overweight, you know, all these things. And by the way, the problem that I've had, and my weight's gone like this, right, throughout my life. The problem I have when it's up here is I always have other problems too. My knees start to hurt, right?
Yeah.
I'm not as fit, and I get winded quicker, right? So it's like you got to protect future Chris, future Tom, by exercising fairly regularly, at least 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
I think that I read somewhere that it was like 30 rigorous minutes or 45 rigorous minutes 3 or 4 times a week.
Right, and it's not even about weight too. You know, you could be skinny and have.
I know.
Right. You know, it's your cholesterol and all.
Oh, and also nutrition.
Right. Like
right. So that rolls right into it. What are you eating?
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, my diet used to be carbs and sugar. That was my whole diet, right?
Yeah. Right.
You know, here's what I would eat every day: the croissant at Tim's and the donut at Tim's, right? Because you got to have those. Then in between and on my way to swim practice, I would get 1 Kit Kat, 1 Twix, or both, right? And I'd eat those as I'm going to swim. Then, depending upon the number on the scale that morning, if the number was okay, I'd then go in the afternoon to like Dairy Queen for a sundae or the milkshake with the whipped cream, right?
Oh, that sounds great.
So I'd probably do ice cream 3 times a week, candy bars every day. Oh, let's not forget, I'd then go to Subway for the big Coke, right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize that even though my weight was okay because I was swimming every day, my cells weren't happy, right? Yeah. And I've read, you know, we read that book, Good Energy by Casey Means, and it talks about what's happening with your cells, with sugar, with bread.
Right.
It's like you're destroying your future self, right? I mean, she claims that dementia is a sugar situation. In other words, people who eat a ton of sugar, they're more likely to get dementia. So imagine now, Chris, you're in your mid-60s and you're starting to get dementia, right? And you're thinking about all those milkshakes you had all through your life. And you're like, screw that past Chris. He enjoyed all those milkshakes. I didn't get to enjoy those milkshakes. And now I'm paying the price. Future Chris is paying the price. So you're right. It's both exercise and nutrition, right? So in other words, present Chris, on your way home tonight, you got to avoid the sundae, right? Or at least be deliberate about it. You know what I mean?
I did have ice cream last night from McDonald's.
Yeah, but no, I'm not. Oh, McDonald's. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have ice cream or McDonald's or whatever. I'm just saying it's got to be in a balance, right? Like I still eat ice cream, right? Even though I read that book that was like, do not eat ice cream. But my mentality is I'll eat it like once a week. I used to eat it 4 times a week. I don't eat candy bars anymore. I don't. You okay?
I just sneezed.
Yeah, I don't eat candy bars anymore because they're not worth it, right? They're not good enough. But if I'm going to eat sugar, it's going to be good. But anyway, protecting your future self against, health issues because we're all getting older. Mm-hmm. But do we want to be healthy old or unhealthy old?
Right.
And that's all depends upon what you do today, Chris. What is future Chris going to do what is present Chris going to do for future Chris? And I'm guessing you're going to stop at McDonald's again tonight and get that milkshake, and you're going to go, screw future Chris.
I bought some lamb. For myself.
Bought some what?
Lamb.
Some what?
Lamb.
Oh, lamb.
Lamb. Yeah.
L-A-M-B.
Yeah.
Lamb. Oh, you're going to cook that up tonight?
Cook that up tonight.
All right. Okay, here's another thing. Now, I'm slightly fanatic about this, but everyone should be. Brush, floss, rinse with Listerine. After every meal, you should brush and floss.
It's very easy to not do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And once you start letting your teeth go, your teeth will start to rot and eventually fall. Like, they won't rot tomorrow because you're only 25 or 26. But when you're in your 50s and 60s and you got like all that brown stuff between your teeth or they're starting to like get loose or they hurt or you got all these cavities, that's future Chris getting screwed by present Chris. And yeah, you got to invest a little, present Chris. You got to invest for future Chris. Because by the way, you're still going to be future Chris. Even though it's a different guy, it's still all going to be in your head, right?
Yeah.
So what I would do is carry around toothbrush, toothpaste. Oh, let me show you. I'm reaching into my pocket now. You got it too?
I got it.
All right, look at this. I keep that. And wait, let's see what else I got. And I got this. I keep it in my pocket with me. You got it. Good job. See, this way, did you learn that from me?
Yeah.
You did? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Because you don't want future Chris to have all your teeth falling out, right?
Right.
I mean, who knows? They might fall out anyway, but at least it's not for lack of effort, right?
Yeah.
At least it's not because of past Chris.
Nobody does this. Nobody my age does this.
No? Yeah, that's the most important time to do it,
Yeah.
right? Because now all that little buildup that happens year over year, you can avoid all that, right? Okay. So, here's one for you. By the way, I was just thinking about these as I was driving home and I stopped at the gas station. What other things can I do to protect future Tom? One is avoiding extremely dangerous activities, okay? Because they're fun when you're doing them. When present Chris is on his motorcycle going 120 miles an hour down the highway at night, at midnight, you're screaming with joy, right? And then when you hit something and you flip over 100 times and then you can't use your arms and legs anymore, now you're like, oh my God, I wish I could go back in time and beat past Chris for what he did to me.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I watched like a bunch of cop chase videos. I just find them amusing. But it's always that moment where they get caught and you hear the voice like, no.
Right.
That's
the future guy got
future
caught
guy,
for what the
yeah.
past guy did.
Yeah.
That's another thing on my list, committing crimes.
Right.
Right? Don't commit crimes.
Don't.
Right? Because if you commit a crime and you get caught, you go to jail. Right? Now, the guy that committed the crime, it's like a thrill. You got some money. Maybe you robbed a bank. Maybe you robbed a Quickie Mart. Maybe you beat up your friend, right? Because you were angry. But once again, that person is screwing future person.
Right.
And it's not just because they're going to get caught and they might have to go to jail or pay a fine. It's also because they're building a mentality, which is committing crimes is okay.
Yeah.
And once you do it enough times, eventually you're going to get caught, right?
you just gotta watch this drug smuggling movie. Where they get caught,
Oh, they get caught, and it's
and then it just scares the crap out of you.
yeah. I have a recurring nightmare, and maybe it means something, but where I think I'm going to jail for prison for the rest of my life, and I just got caught, and then I wake up so relieved that it was just a dream.
Yeah,
It's terrifying,
yeah.
right?
There's this show where it's about people getting caught smuggling drugs into different countries,
Oh, and it's great while it's going on.
and
Till
then
you
once
get
they
caught.
get caught in a foreign country with high security prison,
Right. You're screwed.
they cry. They just break down crying.
Yeah. And what do you wish they could do? Go back
Go
in
back
time
and not do that.
and not do it. Exactly. So again, present Chris has to protect future Chris.
Right.
You're already back in time. You went back in time. You got caught smuggling, and you went back in time 5 years to this Chris. Now, whatever it was, now the problem is you don't remember what it was because you lost your memory of it. But I'm telling you, you are now past Chris. You got to go back. Do whatever you did better.
Yeah.
So don't commit the crimes.
But sir, there's no past. There's only the present.
Yeah, well,
There's
actually,
no future.
there's actually no present. There's only the past and the future. Because the present is a moment. It's over. That present is over. That's the past now. That's now the past. That's the past. And I guarantee you, I'm going to say it again, that will be the future. That's the past, right? There is no present. Present is a fiction because it's only a moment. The moment it's over, it's the past. So what you have in life is memories of the past and anticipation of the future, right? Mm-hmm. You got to protect those anticipation of the future. And there's one other thing that you have to protect. Memories of the past. Because remember when I said to you, okay, here's another thing. Do you, Chris, in the future, want to be remembered for your life on earth?
Ideally, yeah.
Yeah, everybody wants to be remembered, right? The future Chris wants to be remembered. That means the present Chris must live a memorable life, right? Mm-hmm. Accomplish things. Do things that people remember so that in the future, you're memorable, right? You're remembered. People remembered you because of what you did today. So you're trying to protect your future self because you want to be remembered. Well, then be memorable, right? In a positive way, hopefully. Right? Okay, so here's another example. Changing the recycle bin. So here's what I do, and I've just stopped doing this since the other night when I'm thinking about protecting future Tom. Here's what I do. I have my recycle bag in there, right? And you pull it out, you put the bottles in there, you shove it back in. Soon it gets full, and I still keep cramming stuff in because I don't want to change it because it takes me, 45 seconds. And I don't want to deal with it, so I just shut it. As long as it shuts, I go to bed. But now I'm like, I'm going to protect future Tom. And I just did it today. I was about to start cramming it down, and same goes for the garbage. If the garbage is starting to overflow, everybody's like, I'll get it tomorrow. No, protect future Chris, future Tom. Do it right now. Then it's done, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. Okay, another thing I'm doing tonight. I'm going to the sauna, the hot room at the Y, because I read an article 6 months ago that convinced me that if you sit in a sauna at 160 degrees or higher 3 times a week for 12 to 20 minutes per time, it's great for your health, for your heart. Now, who's it great for? Future Tom. It's not great for present Tom because it sucks sitting in that sauna. I get to like 11, 12 minutes and I'm dying. And I don't even think I can make it. Then 15 minutes comes and I'm like, I don't think I can get through this 5 minutes. So I have to start playing all these mind games to get to 20. Then I get to 20 and I'm like, good, I did that. Now future Tom is going to be happier, right? But I don't want to. Present Tom doesn't want to do it, but I don't want to screw future Tom. So I do it.
Right, that's a lot of, like when I went to Africa, there were moments on that trip where I'm like, I think I made a mistake.
Wait, going?
No, just because traveling sucks.
Yeah, but now you own that trip, right?
And
you talk about it. You think about it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what a great memory.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you hadn't done it, if you had given in, if present Chris had said, I'm not doing it, it's going to be a pain in the ass.
But this contradicts one of your rules because it was kind of dangerous at times.
Well, that's true, but that going there wasn't dangerous, but some of the situations you put yourself. Now, again, I'm not saying don't do sort of dangerous things. I'm just saying be careful if you're going to do super dangerous things because the reason they're called dangerous is because a lot of people get, desperately hurt from it, right?
When you're young, dangerous is cool.
Yeah, except that young, dangerous mentality could have old guy in the wheelchair, which I'm telling you, that life is a hard life. When I see people in the chairs,
Yeah.
I think, my God, they're way better than I am, because I guess we all survive it, right? We do what
Right.
we have to do as humans, but appreciate what we've got, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing is, let's see. Create a body of work. It's kind of
Right,
like
yeah, we
being
talked-
memorable. That's like being memorable, right? Build up your body of work. Write books.
Don't be a
make
consumer.
movies. Yeah, and that's, I guess, that's also just spending all your time taking and not giving,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
contributing.
yeah.
But building a body of work is something that you'll have for the rest of your life. If you build a company, you got that. No matter what happens to you, even if eventually the company fails and you're out of business, you built a company, right? You employed people,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so build a body of work. Build your resume for life, right?
Yeah.
Like at the end of it all, what do you want to look back and say, wow, I did all that? Well, no, you didn't do all that. Previous versions of you did all that, right? You're getting the benefit of it in the future. When you're 70 and you look back at your life and all that you did, it's really previous versions of you that did it, right? Because we change every day,
Right.
right? So let's see. Okay. And then, of course, go to band practice. Because I do have this guy that I know who's in a band, and he's trying to practice as much as he can, right?
Yeah.
One of his fellow band members had a problem where he couldn't get to band practice because his car was broken down.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, okay, so here's what happened. Go back to past person. Past person didn't save enough money so that future version, when the car broke down, he could fix it. So that future version, when he had to go to band practice with his car, could go to band practice. So that future version could be a rock star.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So past version should have made more money.
Yeah.
So that future version could be a rock star.
Or past version should have had a nest egg.
Had a what?
Nest egg,
Oh, nest egg, right?
Yeah.
Which they had to build up, right?
Yeah.
And not wasted it.
Yeah.
But it always about protecting the future version of ourselves.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've made our point.
Okay.
All right, let's
All
wrap.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you.